What's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. Ta-da! Bringing you my newest knife design. This is made by Croco Knives and made well. This thing is beautiful. I mean, just look at the sheath. This is absolutely stunning. You have a frog, which is a removable belt loop, right? That whole thing will slide down. It hooks up right there. But you can remove the frog and use it as a tuck-in if you want. But who would remove such a beautiful work of art? So this is the NKG, the dbad Nutty Knife Guy. And real quick, I'll just tell you why this knife is here and what promoted me, to design this knife. There was, for those who don't know, there was a YouTuber, a knife channel, this guy Ray Chalinsky, who was known as the Nutty Knife Guy. Beyond being the master of the war post, Ray was a writer. He was a science fiction writer, and he was really good. He actually had some books published. And in one of his books, he had a couple of drawings that he did of his main character, which was this this busty, beautiful, badass combat girl. And she carried a Tonto. Now, when he drew it, it was black on black on black. But the thing is, when he was drawing, he wasn't drawing everything to spec. He was making her hold the knife, and there was a couple different drawings of her holding the knife. And in each drawing, the knife was a little bit different. You know what I mean? Because he was drawing a comic. He wasn't drawing anything to scale. So, not that it was a comic book, but a comic style figure inside of his book. So the blade, the knife was different in two different images, but there was a roundabout thing to it. Like, you could see where he was going and what he was getting at. Ray died and left a hole in the knife community because he was a very well-liked person, and the reason is because he was a very well-likable guy. He was just a great guy. And I decided to take the knife from his drawings and come out with a single drawing that I thought would well represent that blade in honor of the late, great Ray Chalinsky. And this is my dbad Nutty Knife Guy blade, and it is awesome. You don't ever see a drop point Tonto. This one has that. It is completely different, and it is completely not how he drew it, but there's a reason behind when I do a design. I take a lot of things into my head and into view. The shiny blade rather than the black blade, it's because Ray passed. So it's kind of like that heaven's light, that shining light down on his creation, basically, on his thoughts. And so this is why we went with polished and not with black. You have fullers. They're nice deep fullers. The guy was full of life. He was a deep guy. He was just awesome. He was just a really, really good dude. There's a little bit of girth up here and a little bit of hump because Ray was a big guy. He was a hefty fella. And I want to show in the design that Ray was just round but beautiful. You know what I mean? Just such a good person. And then we have the circles. I went with this micarta because I wanted it to almost represent space, like Ray looking down at us, and not down at us, but on us, upon us, and seeing. And the rest of it was just my take on how this thing is going to be really useful and more comfortable. Now, in his drawings, he had, I believe it was the bottom one, came down a lot more. But when you're talking about using the knife, it had to make sense as well. He wasn't a knife designer. He was a writer, and he would do his own drawings. So in his head, he had this cool looking thing, but we wanted to make it a very, very usable design. And that is why we have this. Now, there's only 30 made. This is number 1 of 30. I know as of today, 3 have sold. So number 5 and up are still available. And what I'm going to do is, some people have trouble navigating to get to the website. I am going to put down below the direct link to the page for this. Now, the price is actually really good. I think it's like $129. But what my man Usman did over at Croco Knives, because he's awesome, what's happening is, if you buy a knife and it has to be shipped from somewhere, you have to pay these extra fees, right? The tariff fees. And so your blade will get there and you have to pay out of pocket right there. And you're like, crap, I can't accept this package. I don't have any money on me. He included the tariff fee. So he actually already paid it. The tariff fee is already paid when it's shipped to you. So for $129.99 or $129 flat, you already it's $129.99. That's already taken care of. So you don't have to worry about the tariff fees. When it gets to your door, it's at your door. It's yours. It gets dropped right off in the mail. Now you'll see this. This is not very sci-fi. This is not very sci-fi at all. But it's because this is a combination of Ray Chalinsky, the Nutty Knife Guy, and me, dbad. And I live in Arizona. So I needed to take a really good look at this and say, yeah, man, this is all Usman. This is all Usman over at Croco, with blending the two, the Arizona and the sci-fi warrior. There has never been a better job done blending these two. So that is credit given straight to Croco Knives for making this, because it's absolutely me and Ray together, and it is absolutely perfect. So we're talking about 13 inches overall. We have an 8-inch blade with a 5-inch grip. The Rockwell is 5860 on a 6.6 millimeter thickness. You do have your lanyard hole, skull cracker. Remember, this is a self-defense fighting knife, but it's a knife, so you'll be able to use it for much more. I would take this over the what do you call it? The K-bar utility. Everybody calls it the USMC. I would take this over the K-bar any day. This thing is freaking awesome. I don't know how sharp it is. I don't know how sharp it is. Ooh, it's, oh my gosh. All right, so Croco Knives, my man Usman. This thing is a freaking razor blade. Holy smokes. That was sharp. I knew it was sharp because I did this, but I didn't know how sharp. This thing is crazy sharp. Let's take it outside. All right, so we got a cloud right where the sun is. I wanted to show you in the sun, but you'll get the gist. These scales are beautiful. That is such a cool scale. Now you'll notice they're Chicago screws that are Phillips head, so you don't need any crazy tools. If you want to make sure these permanently stay on there, you can unscrew that, put on some red Loctite, and you'll never have to worry. So that he uses, when he builds these, he uses materials that are found every day, anywhere, that you can use any tool to work with. I hate when people use a screw that takes a special wrench to work, because then if something goes wrong, you're screwed. So this thing is an absolute fighting knife in every sense of the word. This is nasty. I'm talking nasty. So let's play with it a little bit here. Let's play with it. Let's have some fun. Let me see. I got this rope right here. I'm running out of this rope, as a matter of fact. I'm gonna have to get some more. It's a nice stiff rope. I'm gonna try the Tonto tip. It's so far away from the hand. This is not what it's made for, but look at that. That is super, super nice. Just an absolute cutter. Let's try this. Wow, that was even easier. It went through so fast. My hand just went straight through. I was just doing a push cut. Golly. All right, so we know that the edge geometry is there. I mean, that is all there. I got oil on it too, so I'm still sliding. I didn't wipe off all the oil correctly. So let's see. It's cut this big bad boy over here, and we'll go with the actual. Wow, that is so nice. That cut is super clean. I mean, super, super clean. And let's try the tip again. Golly, this knife, it's so big. It's bigger than you'd think. You think of like a Tonto hand, you know, they're generally, you're going to see like a 6-inch blade. And this one's got the 8-inch blade because it's a fighting knife. So doing stuff like bushcrafty stuff, tight work, it's so different, especially when there's no choil, because it's not made as a survival knife. So it's not made to choke way up. Man, you choke way up, this thing's so sharp, you're going to get it. That's why that has a beautiful S-guard right there. It's just so right in the hand. Let's see. Is it going to be a blade you can take into the woods? Ooh, I don't want to cut my fingers off. All right, let's see here. Let's get it started. There we go. There we go. Now I can grab onto it. I'll tell you, this knife is so sharp. I didn't want to lose any fingers. I didn't want to. All right, here we go. I was trying to be very careful with that one. So let's see. Now it has that big fat spine that is 90 degrees, so you can ferro rod strike. Wow. This thing is awesome. The edge work that Usman does over at Krakow, golly, this thing is a beautiful cutter. Let's see. Oh, I got a little cut in this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it without it folding on me. It's already sliced. Let's see. That was clean and meat. Golly, this is nice. This is everything I hoped it was going to turn out to be because of who it's for, you know, who it in regards to. Now we do have D2 steel. It is a swedged tip, but not sharpened tip. So it's going to be legal everywhere, and it's going to maintain strength through that tip. So what Ray used to do is he used to have a 4x4 and he would dangle it, and you'd see him just like doing like jabs and punches into his 4x4. Let me pick up some of this stuff that I need now. So that was his war post. That's what he called it. So he would strike at the war post. And I wish I had a 4x4 to dangle just for Ray today. But I don't. We'll just have to punch at a tree. So let's see. This is getting pretty small. Too small for me to probably hold and do this. But it's a plastic tube. Woo! Man, I am running out of hand space here. And if this edge gets me, I am hospital bound, because golly, he made it so sharp. Oh man, that is so nice. I'm just turning the plastic, and I'm trying not to overturn, because you'll see where my knuckle is. If I cut this plastic all the way through and it kicks out, that's my knuckle. That's my knuckle. I'm going to be losing the end of a knuckle. So let me see if I can slice it straight across here. Ooh, it's so close to my knuckle. Man, I might have to find a new piece of plastic. So this one is a different kind. It's really, really hard. But we'll see how this does against it. Golly, it just bites right in. It bites right in. I'm so nervous because I know how sharp it is. Oh, I'm wondering if I could just I'm trying, I flipped it around. I don't want to cut my fingers. Let's see, here we go. Get a nice cut on there. Golly, am I in the shot? I'm in the shot. That is super, super nice. I want to get just a swift cut off here. Ooh, here it is. That stuff is hard, man. No edge problems, cutting really hard material. There's no folding or anything like that. Let's see. Let's get some more stuff here. Now, doing a push for feathering is going to be hard because it is long, but if you take your time when you're doing feathers and you don't go like this, you'll be okay. And you can see the curls that are coming off of this thing are really, really nice, really solid curls. They're tight. You could absolutely get a fire going with those. Let's do, using the fullers, we'll use a good side cut. That's where you're going to get your magic when it comes to getting curls and making a nice feather stick. Golly, those are nice. Those would burn so easy. And for those of you who don't know what this is, when you take a piece of nice dried wood and you make these curls, they're called feathers. This would be a feather stick. When you are making a fire at camp, these little guys right here will catch really easy. And that's what that is. That's what feathering is. So, oh, you know what? We got that garden hose. I was just going to say, let's jump on to something else. But, because I want to hit with it. I do want, wow, that was easy. I do want to hit with this blade. Golly. Golly. Oh, I just lost my grip on it. I lost my grip. That was on me. That was definitely on me on that rip. I lost the grip because I started in a place where it got real skinny and I was trying to hold on to that and I didn't have the little rubber piece. That's on me, man. Let's twist this up. Let's twist this up. I'm allowed to screw up because this is my game. All right. Bam. That is so nice. This thing is a dream in the hand. Oh, I know the people who bought one. One guy got his like the day before I got mine, and because I live out in the desert, so shipping to me it usually takes a little while. But he was so excited to have his, and I see why. The thing came out so great. Let's go hit with it. All right, let's take a couple swats at this. This is some really hard Arizona wood here. Oh yeah. It's just mowing through it. The finger welling right here is really doing its job, and I still have oil on this, and it's like my hands are like greasy. So I'm really happy to not be losing it. I did a really nice curvature out here so I can choke back, and that's what I'm going to do now. Even oily and greasy, it's not leaving my hand, and that's good because I'd probably mess myself up. But I would definitely, I don't have any loosening yet, but I know that if I keep doing this, eventually they'll loosen because they're screws. So I would definitely Loctite them. He doesn't Loctite them on purpose, and that's so people, for maintenance when cleaning and stuff like that, if you wanted to take off your scales and clean or throw it or do whatever you want to do, that's what that's for. But I don't have to worry about that right now. That is so nice. I need something I can just pop and chop. Chop and pop. Let's see. Ooh. Whoa. Golly. This thing is super nice. I'll tell you, Croco Knives did a kick-ass job. This thing is phenomenal. You can see there's no gapping, no wiggling, or no loosening in the scales. I just know over time, because I know screws are screws, without Loctite. The screws will loosen over time. That's what they do. But, oh my gosh, this thing is super, super nice. This is super nice. It's everything I wanted it to be. It's for the right guy, for the right reason. This knife came about. Wow, look at that. I'm using the, I wish I could hold it. There you go. I don't know if you can see it in between my fingers there. There's those nice little fluffies. That, you can use a 90-degree spine to bring, if you have it in a nice little cup or whatever. And what you do is you do that and you can get nice fluff. It's good for fire burning, stuff like that. But this knife, wow, this knife is freaking incredible. This is incredible. I'm so happy the way this turned out. This is freaking awesome. This is awesome. And for you Tonto lovers, having a humpback Tonto, that's what I'm calling it. It's something that nobody has. A drop point Tonto is just freaking amazing. This thing is so cool looking. It is so cool looking, man. So I'm gonna put the link, like I said, to the actual knife, and I'm going to also add the link to the page that has the rest of the dbad knives on it for Croco knives, so you can check out some of the others. This thing, Usman, great job, man. Great job. The guy is awesome. He is awesome at what he does. Oh, we're finally getting the sun. Hold on. Hold on. The sun is kicking through. You can now it's all dirty and everything. You can really see. Gosh, that is a thing of freaking beauty. All right, that is it for this one. I am Donnie B all day. Until next knife.